special workshop. Hope you're all doing great. Happy Sunday to everybody. We started about 3 minutes late. Apologies for that. Uh, I trust that you will forgive us. So, welcome, real estate. Real estate investment workshop. I'm not saying my people yet. Um, so if you're joining us, please kindly pass up your screen and share the live. Invite your friends. Invite the serious-minded people in your network. We'll appreciate it. Every second and last Sunday of the month, I come live, across my social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and the others. And for about 1 hour, I try to dissect the nuances of investing, specifically in real estate. And I've gotten different great feedbacks from the people who have joined us in the past. So I appreciate you guys are here. Please power tap your screen and share the live. Invite your friends, invite your colleagues. I've been doing this now for about 9 years. Sorry, 7 years. I've been in the real estate industry now for about 7 years, and um, I've been able to help more than 100 entities, Nigerians of different categories, to venture into real estate investing. And it is something that has brought a lot of fulfillment for me, and of course, most importantly, to the people I've been able to guide on this journey, right? So part up your screen and share the light. Let's have, you're not chatting with laptop. Let's have a fuller house. Share the light. Most importantly, share the light. People who have the capacity or interest in the subject of real estate investing. Right? I've met a lot of people who have had bad experiences in the past. Uh, whether via the people that they did some kind of business with, real estate consultants. I aware of specifically in 2017. When someone reached out to me and wanted me to uh, help him get to the bottom of a particular real estate company that he has sent money to for about 8 months, and they have not uh, given him his property. There hasn't been any kind of application done, right? I'm saying that because of one thing: holistic due diligence. Due diligence is something that most of us in Nigeria, in Africa, were not proactively taught how to carry out. Most of us relate with reality from a standpoint of emotionality. It's about how we feel. Uh, it's not about fact, it's not about data, it's always about how we feel. And that has led a lot of people into all kinds of quagmires. You know, Like I said, in the last 7 years, I've been proactively positioned to ensure that we reduce the number of people who get themselves into the wrong hands. And it's been phenomenal. As a matter of fact, it was on the in the process of doing that we eventually came up with our investment club, Circle of Investors Africa, and all the 38 members of the club have been able to invest in some kind of, you know, well structured assets. There are no issues, and they are building gradually. Holistic due diligence protocol is something that we carry out on every company, every project that we get ourselves involved, and the reason for that is to ensure that we dot our I's and we cross our T's, because someone would not have put money together, saved up, sometimes for more than a decade, sometimes, you know, for 5 years, for 8 years, for 15 years. And then at the end of the day, that money enters voicemail. Our job is to ensure that we help you prevent that from happening. This is one thing that we do regularly. As a matter of fact, we carry out due diligence even on companies that we have carried out due diligence on previous. Let's say maybe we carried out a due diligence protocol on a particular company in 2021. We can carry it out again in 2023. We can carry it out again in 2025 because, people's commitments to legacy shifts. But for as long as we know what to look for per time, we can know when someone has moved from integrity to something else. Right? Now, who should pay attention to real estate, investing? Who should pay attention to real estate investing? If you can see the board clearly, please let me know in the comment section. It looks like this marker is going into the grave. Who should pay attention to real estate investing? The answer is simple. Anyone with a source of income. For as long as you have some kind of source of income, you should pay attention to real estate investing. And I kid you not when I tell you that it is possible for you not to have a current source of income right now. And you begin to pay attention to real estate. Real estate will provide for you the source of income if you pay attention to it appropriately. Right? Anyone with any sort of income should pay attention to real estate investing. And see, real estate investing should be like a 5-year course in the university. Right? So if you stumble upon my account for the first time and I'm talking about real estate investment, we're talking about real estate investing. It is not today that you're going to learn everything about it. Depending on your own speed of learning is what will determine the speed of your own mastery, or even before mastery, basic understanding of what it is. Right? We live in an age of decentralized everything. We live in an age of decentralized investing. You are cheating yourself. You are doing yourself a great deal of disservice if you are already above 16 and you have not started paying attention to real estate investing. For most people, their excuse is usually that, oh, I didn't come from wealth. I didn't come from a rich family. Oh, I don't get money. I don't have money. Whereas there are multi-billionaires today in the real estate industry. who came from poverty. There are multi-millionaires today in the real estate industry who came from poverty, right? So it has already been debunked that you need to come from a wealthy family or a rich family before you begin to pay attention to real estate, right? Now, one of the most important things you must do if you want to proactively kickstart your real estate investment journey, re how this one resources audit. If you want your subconscious mind to take you seriously, it is very important to carry out an audit of the resources that you currently have. See, wealth building is a mind game. I know some people maybe came from who were raised in an environment of mediocrity will probably say, "Oh, they've started again with this mindset." As if when we talk about the mind is the mind is some kind of abstract, inconceivable concept. Like everybody doesn't have a mind. Everybody has a mind. You know, yesterday I hit an epiphany. I was thinking, because me, I think a lot, right? I engage in a lot of different kinds of thinking, reflective thinking, creative thinking, critical thinking, you know, brainstorming thinking. I mean, I think a lot. So yesterday I hit an epiphany where I realized that nobody can make you rich. Are you aware that nobody can make you rich? Anybody can teach you how to make money. That's simple. Anybody who have made some considerable money over a period of time can teach you how to make money. Yeah, standard. But that you are making money does not mean that you're going to. Guess what? There is nobody on the face of this planet that can teach you how to be rich. Forget all the books you've read. I've read those books too. The Richest Man in Babylon, The Science of Getting Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Midas Touch, Why We Want You to Be Rich. Which other one? Think and Grow Rich, Acres of Diamond. Which other? I've read a lot of books. Millionaire Next Door. I've read a lot of books on money, and I read those books. I was still broke until I began to understand entrepreneurship proper. I was still broke because I was thinking that I could read my way to wealth. I could read my way to riches. No, you are the only person who can figure out how to become rich. You becoming rich is a is custom made for you. There are people who have gone to Harvard who maybe have been able to attain some level of wealth, and there are some other people who have gone to Harvard who have not been able to attain some level of wealth, despite the fact that they went to Harvard. At least I know two people like that who they're not poor, but they're still struggling. They're still struggling to figure it out because these two people I'm talking about, they are more academic than entrepreneurial. You are the one to figure out your riches. You are the one to figure out your trajectory to riches. Yes, you would have support, but ultimately the decision is wielded by your own mind. The custom design audacity of your own mind is what is going to lead you to riches. Right? Now, resources audits is very, very important. If you are going to um, achieve wealth, if you are going to power your journey to economic and financial freedom, the first thing you need to do is audit the resources you currently have. Have a list. The resource audit is a list of resources you have. Right? What does that list constitute? It could be um, your professional competencies. It could be your knowledge. Sorry, I'm saying it could be. It's a list, like I said, right? It could contain your office or your home. It could contain your certifications. It could include your certain people in your family. If you don't proactively audit your resources, you are just going to be dilly-dallying in this world. You are going to be tossed to and fro like a jellyfish. There won't be any anchor because the resources you have is enough to start you on your economic and financial freedom journey. I don't care how little it is. The volume of resource at the bottom of the economic and financial pyramid is an illusion. As a matter of fact, even at the top is an illusion. How much more at the bottom? What is important is that you know what you have. I've met people think that, because they came from poverty, they don't have anything. It's not true. There is nobody on the face of this earth that doesn't have anything, including those whose parents and whose mother abandoned them under the bridge, and then the people for those people have something, including people who live under the bridge. They have something. The problem is that they don't know what they have. One of the most important resource that they have is their mind. But the thing is, depending on the environment that a person grew up in, is what will determine if the mind is going to be an asset or a liability. Because your mind can either be an asset to you or a liability. But you see, I see people today who are homeless, who are on social media. I've met people who are homeless, but they are still able to access the internet. Anybody that has access to the internet doesn't have any excuse to have a mind that is a liability. Because, like I said earlier, wealth building, real estate portfolio building is a mental game, and it is customized for you. One of the things that we do for the members of the club, Circle of Investors Africa, is to help them design a roadmap that they would use as their ultimate economic and financial instrument for chaperoning themselves to economic and financial freedom. Right? At the epicenter of that roadmap is them, the way they think, the way they see money. When you join the club, the first 2 months, every 2 weeks, we have private sessions with you when you join the club. Every 2 weeks, once every 2 weeks. Then after the first 2 months, anytime you need to book a session, you just send an email and then we'll book a session and all that, right? With a custom-made roadmap that you were the one responsible for delivering the data, for coming up with that roadmap. Because wealth building is not a generic thing. It's not powered by generic knowledge. If a book is a bestseller, it means that it has sold at least 1 million copies. Whatever is in that book is no longer news. And if it is no longer news, people have already probably used the information in that book, and you coming, after, the 7th million copy, you have already come too late. That's why when it comes to wealth building, we do not use generic knowledge. Even what I teach in the real estate investment workshop, they are not generic information. This has been as a result of my 7 years in the real estate industry. On the field, I've been on the field since 2019. I'm still on the field. And the nuances that a lot of observers are not are unable to understand are part of the things that I share. Right? So you literally sit down with the resources audit and think about everything you have that will serve as a resource. Your smartphone is a resource. Your laptop is a resource. Your car is a resource. The amount of money you have in your bank account or bank accounts, resource, put them down. Write them out on that list. The quality. See, a lot of people tell me that I am too, my guerrilla marketing is too ruthless. Even on LinkedIn, some people. One guy was telling me that was it yesterday or day before yesterday on LinkedIn that I'm too direct in the way I'm approaching, and it was trying to teach me how to approach. And I was like, you know what? If you can give me a screenshot of 3 people who have approached you in this way, I'll send you 50K right now. If can give me a screenshot of 3 people who have approached you in the way you have just told me to approach you, I'll give you 50K. And he was not like, no, that's beside the point. What is beside the point? You want to teach me how to project my own identity? You want to teach me how to approach you? When I know you are complacent, you followed me. You sent me a request on LinkedIn, a connection request. I accepted. Then I came into your DM. Then you are trying to teach me how to come into your DM. Right? Someone who is probably broke. So risk is very important if you are going to effectively chaperone your path to economic and financial freedom. Now, when it comes to understanding the art and craft of money, the subject of money, you know, most of us, as a matter of fact, it's not just Africans, even abroad, Americans, Indians, Canadians, Europeans, most have they have money, they're operating with money literacy. Money is an art to be mastered. Money making is an art to be mastered. Truth be told, all those books that I mentioned, yes, they helped me to um, cultivate my money mind. Definitely, definitely, definitely. I mean, I remember this book I read as well, Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins. That book is about 600 pages. And that book changed my mind. Ray Dalio's book, Principles, changed my mind about money, right? Definitely. But it is not just about you having your mind changed, it's about you understanding the mechanics of money. The mech the mechanics, the mechanics of money. See, there are 3 important layers to the mechanics of money. The first is you start learning how to make money on your make money on your feet. Today is Sunday. I have interacted with dozens of people today about my business, about their business. Sunday, that is still me making money on my feet, even though I am also operating in the other 2 layers of the mechanics of money. Make money on your feet. What is that active income generator? What is that thing that generates active income for you? That's you making money on your feet. Salary, making money on your feet. Running a business. You are a professional of a particular skill or skill set, making money on your feet. That's the first layer. The second layer is when you learn how to make money with your mind. With your mind. Like I said, I also operate here. I'm an author of 2 books. I run a consulting company. The unique consulting models and protocols were uniquely engineered by me. That is me making money with my mind. And I have gotten contracts in millions or millions of naira as a result of what I packaged, the offers I packaged. That is making money with your mind. The third layer of the mechanics of money is when you now graduate to making money in your sleep. Make money in your sleep. And this is where, see, if you are someone who was not raised in the first 2 decades of your life, from age 0 to 20, you were not raised in an environment where the adults, your parents, your uncles and aunts, they're never talking about money or talking about some kind of investment or talking about some kind of property that they bought or are planning to buy or planning to sell. Or if you were not raised in that environment, I promise you that it will be psychologically difficult for you to want to go in the direction of mastering the mechanics of money because your brain, the earlier formative side of your brain has already happened. It is still forming, even if you are still in your 20s, more especially early 20s. But the moment you are in your 30s, it will take you compulsing your brain to want to go in that direction because naturally, by default, your brain is not interested. Your brain is just waiting for one miracle money, like they say. The miracle money that will never come. Because there's nothing like miracle money. So if you are fortunate enough to still be in your 20s, man, you have to force yourself to begin to pay attention to the art and the mechanics of money. 3 layers. Make money on your feet. If I ask you right now, how are you making money on your feet? Can you tell me in the comment section? Right? Can you tell us in the comment section exactly how you making money on your feet? When I say make money on your feet, I'm talking about it's your active income. Do you work a 9 to 5? Tell us. Do you run a business? Most people who run businesses are actually making money with their mind. Most people in 9 to 5 are actually making money on their feet, except maybe senior management. Because senior management has to do with you using your mind beyond your biological mechanisms, right? So, okay, somebody said my job. Okay, employee, beautiful, make money. Selling a product, okay, beautiful, beautiful. So you make money on your feet, you make money with your mind, and you make money in your sleep. See, you never leave one for one. Most people started from making money on their feet, but just making money with their minds. It is usually a great error because it's supposed to be a layer. Making money on your feet is supposed to be the foundation. Then you begin to learn how to make money with your mind as a second layer, and the third layer becomes making money in your sleep. If this does not become your subconscious default understanding, you will stumble upon a page like this, you stumble upon a live broadcast like this, and you just go past because it is not your default setting. See, let me tell you something. It was not my default setting as well. I had to compel myself because I knew that, okay, in this world, we live in an economic planet. in this world, if I do not understand the money game, ah, I'm going to be at the bottom of the pyramid. I will not forget dream. You dream. You are not going to achieve your dreams if you don't understand the money game. Why do you think that 95% of all startups fail between 6 months and 60 months? Between 6 months and 5 years, 95. Because the majority of them do not understand the money game. That's why. Some people have never read one book from cover to cover on the subject of money. And they were not privileged enough to have been born into a family of elders. They went to school. All their lecturers are economically and financially illiterate. They went to church. All the things all they were taught in church was, pay your tithes, pay offering, pay this, pay that. When it comes to the real universal money principles, nobody taught them. And then the last resort that is supposed to be social media. The last resort that is supposed to be social media. Do you know how many people who have stumbled upon this life and then they scroll past? Some of them 22 years old, some of them 29 years old, some of them 19 years old. They scroll past it. What is supposed to be the last resort of them understanding and mastering the money game? We live in an economic planet. If you are not proactive about understanding money to the point where you see it as an ammunition. See, all you're going to become is a casualty of war, because we live in the economic planet is a war zone, economic war zone. And it's only people who proactively give themselves to the mastery of this subject. When we talk about money, it leads to wealth. But you see, do you know that most people who were raised in poverty were raised to only squander resources? Resources squandering. There are people today, as I speak to you right now, who probably are asking someone for 50K, maybe their family member, maybe their sibling, maybe their uncle, whatever, maybe their friend, asking the person to send them 50K. But this same person has had 5 million pass through his account, has had 200,000 pass through his account, has had 1 million pass through his account. Most people who were raised in poverty were raised to squander resources. That is the default setting of those who were raised in poverty. But guess what? It is your duty and your responsibility to re-engineer your mind. See, the reason why our politicians, Nigerian politicians, African politicians, are not able to build Africa in such a way that it can marshal quantum leap of progress is because most of them came from poverty. Even though a lot of them now have been able to embezzle the Commonwealth to the point where they are now billionaires, they are still poor. Because see, Africa is wealthy, Africa is rich, but the custodians of the resources, the caretakers of the resources, are poor mentally. And see, the African leaders are a reflection of the African people. The majority of African people are economically and financially illiterate. I was economically and financially illiterate growing up as a child. Whatever I know today, it was not my parents that orchestrated it. It was not my teachers that orchestrated it. It was not the Christianity that orchestrated it. It was as a result of me getting to different parts of my life where I've always had these dreams from when I was a child. And then I'm not able to even carry out 1% of that dream because I don't have money. is interested in, at the very least, even say to me that, oh, let me support your dream with 100,000 naira. It forced me to begin to proactively, and of course, it was like a serendipity. When the internet, right, Obasanjo, during Obasanjo's time, when the internet became mainstream, internet service became mainstream in Nigeria, right? That was year 2000, 2000, 2003, right? And we started learning about cyber cafes. Cyber cafes began to spring up, right? So I went to the cyber cafe. I mean, I've been going to cyber cafe, but in 2014, sorry, 2004 rather. In 2004, on this particular day, I went to the cyber cafe. I bought time, 30 minutes time, and I started surfing the internet. I stumbled upon a website that says I can show you the secret to riches. I was 19 years old at this point, 2004, and then I was like, oh, the way the copies are very long. The web copies very long. I read it to the very end, and then at the end of it, he had a Zenith bank account where I'm supposed to pay 5,000 naira. Guess what? To cut the long solution, I eventually sent that 5K. It was that 5K I sent that made him send me 5 books. And all these 5 books were literally the books that helped me to kickstart this unconventional journey that has led me to where I am right now. As a Man Thinketh, that was one of those books. As a Man Thinketh, it's about something pages, short but powerful. The Science of Getting Rich, Think and Grow Rich, The Secret of the Ages, and one other book. It was those books, and in those books, they will recommend about books that was how I started next level, book purchase or book purchases. That was how I started. That was even when how it led me to knowing about Rich Dad Poor Dad and the other books, right? If you're not proactive, please let us carry out a short test. Am I making sense with what I'm saying? Let me know in the comment section if I'm making sense. Let us carry out a short test. Can you tell me the title of all the books on money that you've read? Tell us in the comment section. Tell us the title of all the money books that you have read. Tell us in the comment section. See, there is no one who ever became wealthy or succeeded in building wealth who didn't have to first work on their mindsets, who didn't have to first work on their minds. Nobody. See, I come around wealthy people every now and then. You see the way they see. See, poor people want to copy wealthy people. They want to copy what they see them do, but they don't want to copy their mind. Because that one is harder to copy. It's harder to copy someone's mind because you can't copy a mind. You can only learn about the things that is helping them cultivate their wealth mindsets. Please tell us in the comment section what books on the subject of money have you read. Tell us the title in the comment section. The mindset of money is primarily what I term as investment consciousness. See, every resource you have should be from the standpoint of investment deployments. Every resource, your money, your food, even the way you eat your food, should not be like gluttons eat food. It should be from the standpoint of, okay, this food is fuel for my body. Right? Too many people live a limited life simply because they are operating, right? AKA poverty consciousness, squandering consciousness. And if you're not proactive about uninstalling that consciousness or alchemizing that consciousness, you are going to be stuck in survival mode, in struggle mode. I'm sure that you know someone. I'm sure you know someone who died in their 70s or in their 80s, and they were poor before they died. And I'm sure you know some who all their lives till they died in their 70s or in their 80s, they were poor virtually all their lives. I'm sure you know at least one person like that. Now, I'm not saying this to mock them. I'm trying to bring this to your awareness to let you know that it is possible for a person to stay in poverty for decades. And some of these people that died in poverty were praying. I can guarantee that they were prayer warriors. Because the concept of money, the subject of money, is no respecter of mediocrity, is no respecter of religion. It is universal. Your job is to proactively learn these universal principles for the planet in your reality. Those principles to power engineer your reality. Right? I've, I've met people who say, um, mindset, this mindset, oh, you people that are reading, now book we go chop, now mindset we go chop. And they wonder why whenever they accidentally find themselves in a room full of people with wealthy mindsets, they are the odd one out. They cannot relate at that level. I've been in rooms where I was the poorest in that room. Yet I could relate with the richest person in that room. I've been in rooms where I was amongst the people with the least net worth, with the people with the highest net worth in that room. Because the moment you make it to the domain of wealth mindset, the lines will be blurred amongst the people within that domain. Even people who are 1,000 times richer than you would regard you because they see that element, they see that component of wealth in you, and there are multiple components that they can see. It's one of the things why I tell people that if a poor person puts on a tuxedo and goes for a dinner where wealthy people are going to be, the moment the guy comes close to them and opens his mouth or her mouth, they can already tell that this one is yes, the tuxedo is whatever 500,000 naira or 2.5 million. I don't care. They can already tell that no. Because your mindsets always speak for you in any domain you find yourself. Now, one of the concepts that I coined is called power networking. My own way of offering, value, real value to the people following me on social media. The people amongst them who are interested in the subject of wealth building. The people amongst my followers on social media who are interested in kickstarting their economic and financial freedom journey. Power networking. Power networking is you engineering appreciable value that other people are looking for, or that other people will almost instantly accept the moment you come in contact with them. I'm glad that we've had some good viewership on TikTok tonight. I'm glad, right? And I can tell you that one of the reasons is because probably I've been sharing some valuable stuff, right? I've been sharing some valuable stuff. And this is how I am every day of my life. I've been like this for about 2 decades, over 2 decades, as a matter of fact. Always figuring out how to increase my value. I read a statement made by Albert Einstein many years ago when I was, I think, maybe 17, 18, or 19. I think it was 18, 18. It says that strive not to be a man of success, rather, strive to be a man of value. Becoming a person of value is everything. See, now I'm teaching you networking. Networking, the way to proactively get high net worth individuals to be attracted to you is by proactively optimizing value that you are going to use to initiate power network. Right? Understand that all mindsets are adopted. All mindsets are adopted. Wealthy mindset is adopted. Poverty mindset is adopted. You learn how to be poor. See, if a rich woman and a poor woman gives birth in the same hospital, those two toddlers, they don't know the difference between poverty or wealth. It is their parents that will teach them as they grow up. You see the poor woman saying things like, you better don't compare yourself with that person. And subconsciously, that child is learning poverty. Right? All mindsets are adopted. Education is an adoption process. Even religion is an adoption process. Because no child was born with a religion. Every child was born and then given a name, an identity, and a religion. And they live the rest of their lives, for most, defending a false identity. Somebody will be in their 30s and the economic and financial literacy, it cannot be on a scale of 1 to 10, it's not up to 5. But they know all the prophets in the Bible. The mindset of some Nigerians in the diaspora is something I've had to proactively address in the last 4 years since I've been actively, coming live and posting content on TikTok. I've been able to help hundreds of Nigerians in the diaspora in the last 4 years. A lot of Nigerians in the diaspora have been burnt before, right? They've had bad experiences when it comes to investing. So, because of that bad experience, they subconsciously and maybe even consciously made up their mind that if I make my money, I'll just use it to eat, or I'll just use it to buy good stuff for myself. Right? I met someone in 2022 on TikTok who the last time she invested in real estate, and she has been in the UK as at that time, for over 2 decades. The last time she invested or she attempted to invest in property was 2005. 2005. Because I think then maybe she has just recently relocated to the UK. So maybe like 2 years or 3 years after she relocated. So somebody was talking to her about properties. And she sent money to that person. She didn't get her money back. She didn't get property. And the person is very, very close to her. So because of that, she closed herself to the humongous opportunities that exist in the real estate industry. Imagine 2005. Let's count it from 2005 to 2005 to 2015 is 10 years. 2015 to 2022 is 7 years. 17 years of just making money and spending it. Do you know that is who the majority of the people on this planet are? They make the money just for the purpose of spending it. Most people do not see money as ammunition for investing, ammunition for economic and financial warfare. They don't see money. See, the highest use of money is for investment purposes. Every money, let's say, anytime money comes to you, if a fraction of that money doesn't go into some kind of holding account or investment, trust me, that money did not fulfill its highest purpose. that money, the highest use of money is for investment purposes. If you're a Nigerian in the diaspora and you know that you want to invest, or you're a Nigerian even in Nigeria, because one of the things I find about a lot of Nigerians in Nigeria is because of the economic situation of the country, some of them are allowing that economic situation to becloud their economic and financial judgment. So they have allowed that economic situation, the economic situation of the country, to drown their sense of judgment, economic and financial sense of judgment. Best time, one of the best times to invest in the real estate industry. 2018, 2019, 2020 was one of the best windows that were open for people to invest. The next window is now. Between last year, it's still on. The window is still on as of 2026. It opened from 2025 towards the end of 2025. So if you are in the diaspora and maybe you have been burned and you have had bad experiences, what I would encourage you to do is to join us, our investment club, Circle of Investors Africa. As you join the club, you are a member for life. Our job is to work with you till you arrive at economic and financial freedom. Currently, we have 38 members who are on that journey. So if you are someone who is looking to acquire properties, you are looking to invest, you are looking at setting up structures for transgenerational wealth building, then make sure you send me a DM. Right? I've met some people who didn't think that they are ready to start this journey until we got on a private session. I had a private session with them, 40-45 minutes, and clarity was birthed for them. Because I have a lot of case studies of the people I've been able to help go from seemingly nothing to a place of sizable network, and they are still right. There's one of my clients that met me on TikTok. Too. Then we start talking at the beginning of 2023. So when I was talking to him then, I didn't even know that he had 60,000 pounds. He was living in the UK. He had 60,000 pounds, but he was investing a lot into forex, into crypto. So when we started talking, I had a couple of private sessions with him. Then I told him about the different portfolio. That was 2023. Guess what? After I was done talking to him multiple times, eventually he told me that, okay, you know what? I want to do cash. There's an investment portfolio called cash investment, right? Where you invest cash for a duration of time and get a return on that investment over that duration of time, right? You get a capital and a return, right? For instance, if you invest 10 million naira in 12 months, you get 14.5 million naira, 5% return on investment in 12 months, right? So he did 1 million. I remember on that call, I remember vividly, he said that, let me just test it with 1 million naira. And of course, whenever I hear that statement, I don't leave it lying down, because anytime I hear anybody say test, it means that subconsciously they are gambling. And one of the things I frown at is gambling, because due diligence, like I mentioned earlier, is a real science. For as long as you can get the right data on the back of carrying out due diligence protocols, then you can commit resources and know that it's going to yield some good results. So when he said that, I pointed it out. I'm like, it seems that you have more than 1 million to invest, but you just want to test 1 million. I said, yeah, but let me just test. Guess what? We got talking 2 weeks ago, because he invested that money, and it was supposed to be for 1 year. It was supposed to get what at that time it was in 50%. So it was supposed to get 1.5 million after 12 months. So, so 1 month to the maturity of that investment, we sent him an email that okay, next month your investment will be maturing. What do you want to do? Do you want to withdraw it or do you want to reinvest it? Nothing, no response. I called him, nothing. The call was not going through. On WhatsApp, these two numbers I had, none of them was going through. It was as if it had gone off the grid. I tried and tried for more than 1 month. I just left it. Guess what? From 2023 October, that he invested that 1 million naira. He reached out to me 2 weeks ago. That was when we got talking. It is now that he's trying to get money out. Guess what? We got talking and he was talking about how that he has lost over 60,000 pounds between 2023 and now. So, crypto investing, blockchain investing, forex. Yes, he had that money at that time. See, do you know that he invested 1 million? Normally, it was supposed, if we were able to get through to him, he was supposed to have maybe told us that, okay, I want to reinvest. Then we'll initiate the reinvestment cycle. But we could not do that because we didn't hear from him. Now, even if it's just 1.5 million, I guess, at least he get, but of course, he's not going to get 1.5 million because we are also, I'm working with a real estate development company to some sizable additional return aside the initially agreed upon return because he was supposed to have collected this money since October 2024 and it's more than 1.5 years after. So there has to be some kind of top up to that return. Right? And that's what we're still talking about. So we're going to finalize it tomorrow. You can imagine that if this man invested even half of that 60,000 pounds, which at that time was about, I think, almost 60 million naira, you can imagine what we're going to be talking about now. See, everybody who are members of the club, all the investments they have made since they joined the club, it is only the investment they have made with me that yielded results. I have a member of the club who last year lost between 2024 and 2025 lost over $90,000 is in the US to crypto, to forex. The only 5 million naira that he did cash back, that was like one of the things that he used to carry body when he got his 7.5 million naira back. So, see, I want to advise you if you're someone who doesn't know anything about investing, you're someone who doesn't understand the integrity of investing in real estate, the best decision you're ever going to make for the rest of your life is to join the Circle of Investors Africa. Now, the Circle of Investors Africa has a lifetime membership fee of 800,000 naira, right? 800k. There are people who I have give concessions to pay twice in 2 installments, and there were those that have to give concession to pay in 3 installments. Sorry, in 4 installments, right? 200k. One of my people here on TikTok already working on, he wants to join us, and towards the end of this month, he wants to start his installment payment, right? So if you are not someone who is able to pay 800k right now, I can give you concession to pay in 2 installments or in 4 installments, and the highest is 4 installments. Now, the moment you become a member, you are a lifetime member. There is no other fee. Now, to become a member of the club, you need at least 4 million naira. It can either be 4 million naira that is separate from the 800k, so that we can just invest 4 million naira for you, or it can be 4 million naira and we take out 800k for your lifetime membership, and then we invest the 3.2 million. We have another higher club which is called Club 900, but that one is for folks who have achieved some certain level of financial success, right? But for most people on who are following me on social media, Circle of Investors Africa, CIA, is the club that will help you galvanize your worldview about money, about wealth building, about asset portfolio building, about structuring transgenerational wealth. So, I trust that I've been able to do justice to this. I come live across my social media platform to deliver real estate investment workshop. I trust you've been able to learn one or two things from this. And I am seriously looking out for those of you who are going to become members of the club, or those of you who are looking to, acquire some properties. We have a platform for people who want to acquire properties, and we are in 45 major cities of the world. It is called propertyhunter.city. It's a website where you go fill a short form, and in less than 24 hours, one of our consultants will reach out to you. Just visit www.propertyhunter.city. Any property in 45, we are in 45 major cities, about 6 major cities in Nigeria, and the remaining 39 cities across the world, right? Accra, Nairobi, Kigali, the United Kingdom, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, some state in New York, um, Canada, right? So we are in 45 major cities of the world. So if you are looking to acquire properties, just visit propertyhunter.city and fill the short form. And in about 2 weeks, we should have been able to help you facilitate the acquisition of whatever property, for as long as you are looking for those properties in the 45 cities that we are in, right? We are in partnership with more than 100 real estate companies across these 45 cities. So yeah, any question, if you want to send a request, if you want to come up, if you want me to bring you up, let me know. If you have any question, I can bring you up. Send a request. Any question. The workshop is usually supposed to be for 1 hour, and we've been here now for about 1 hour, 3 minutes. If you have any question, you can either type it in the comment section or send a request. Let me bring you up, and then I can quickly talk to you. Any question. If you don't have a question, can you tell us your biggest takeaway from this workshop? What has been your biggest takeaway? Something that you probably can implement as early as tomorrow morning. What has been your biggest takeaway? If you have any question, send a request. Let me bring you up. Is it that nobody has a question? At least there are like 30 something people here now on TikTok. I mean, if you're on Instagram, if you have a question, please just come and meet us on TikTok at Show Ambassador TV. It's the same handle. Come and meet us on TikTok so that you can ask your question either in the comment section, or you can just send a request and I'll bring you up. Guys, I'm waiting. Any question? If there's no question, then I'm going to be ending the live. So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody who joined. I appreciate you. Every Sunday I'm live, but 2 Sundays out of every month, the second and the last Sunday of the month, I conduct or facilitate the real estate investment workshop, because the majority of our people do not understand their way around investing in properties, right? And then the remaining Sundays of each month, I come live for Sunday business lessons to 2006, right? So this year makes it 2 decades, 20 years. So 1 hour as well. On other Sundays, I'm live sharing insights about business building, business startup, how to get clients and things of that nature, right? So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. I do not take you for granted. Join us again for the next real estate investment workshop on the last Sunday of this month. But next Sunday I'll be here for Sunday business lessons. Thank you, and I look message to join the Circle of Investors Africa. Take care.